We begin by praising Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal, our creator, our sustainer, our nourisher, our maintainer. And we allow the choicest of mercies and blessings to be upon the one that I love and the one that you love. None other than Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Beloved brothers and sisters, for the sake of barakah, I beseech you and ask of you, you can recite after me. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, abdik wa rasulik, wa salli ala al-mu'minina wal-mu'minat. وَالْمُسْلِمِينَ وَالْمُسْلِمَاتِ. I think you've heard the hadith on numerous occasions. مَنْ صَلَّى عَلَيْهِ وَاحِدًا صَلَى اللَّهُ عَشَرًا. For the one that confers just one salawat upon Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah gives him 10 rewards. Beloved brothers, alhamdulillah, we find ourselves on this blessed day of Jumu'ah. And one of the advisable ibadah to do on this beautiful day of Jumu'ah is to try and increase our salawat upon Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah, I'm so happy to be back here in Birmingham and to be here before my beloved brother Ma'aruf, mashallah, and all of you as well. You know, undoubtedly, COVID has kept us away for approximately 2 years. And you know, it's amazing what has happened in the last 2 years. It's shocking, and there's a lot of lessons that can be learned from the last 2 years. And I think for me, the one thing which stands out, the one lesson which is a stark reality for me, is that life is so short. Wallahi, think about it. I know in South Africa, especially during the Delta variant, we were losing so many people on a daily basis. And the reality of the situation is that COVID engulfed young and old alike. It did not distinguish or differentiate who's young, who's old. Once it gripped you, it took you. And that's the lesson we take from life, that there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee that we even may see the next salah or tomorrow or the day after. That can reach us and embrace us at any point in time. We just need to be ready for that day, inshallah. You know, during the COVID era, we've known of people from the ages of 19, 20, 21, and we know of people above 60 that have passed on in the COVID era, contracted the virus and passed on. And this is the message I always say to the youth. If we need to make a change, we need to make the change now, because there's no guarantee. Sadly, when we interact with some of the youth, when we talk to youth, they say to us, okay, when I get to the age of 40, where they get this notion from, Allahu Alam. When I get to the age of 40, I'll turn my life around. Some say to us, when I go for my first Hajj, I'll turn my life around. Some say when I get my first child, I'll turn my life around. Wallahi, beloved brothers, COVID has taught us there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee. Think about it. I don't know what the dynamics in the UK are, but I can say to you in South Africa, it was scary. It was really, really scary. And all of us, most of us, we've lost loved ones. We never saw it coming. People were healthy. You know, people were so active. You know, people were so fit. And those are the same ones that have passed on. So may Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal allow the reality of death to enter our hearts. Because when the reality of death enters our hearts, then that will jolt us and motivate us to turn our lives around for the better. Beloved brothers, you know, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala Azza wa Jal is very, very merciful to us. And He gives us many opportunities to introspect, reflect, ponder, and make sincere resolutions to turn our lives around for the better. Think about it. If you have to analyze the annual calendar of a mu'min and a Muslim, we'll find in that calendar there are so many opportunities, so many opportune moments wherein we can just sit back, reflect, take stock of our lives, check where are we heading, which direction are we heading. Allah gives us these moments in life to find ourselves, to refocus, recalibrate, rejuvenate ourselves, redirect ourselves to the correct direction. Sometimes a person may find certain incidents happen in his life which jolts him to make that change. So if we analyze the annual calendar of a mu'min and a Muslim, there's many opportunities. And one of the greatest opportunities coming before me and you is right here at our doorstep in the next few days, the month of Ramadan. Wallahi, beloved brothers and sisters, the month of Ramadan brings with itself a basket of opportunities for me and for you. So we need to prepare ourselves adequately to embrace the beautiful month of Ramadan and to find ourselves and to maximize upon the opportunities thereof. So alhamdulillah, talking about opportunities, yes, alhamdulillah, the annual calendar of the mu'min and the Muslim, we'll find this month of Ramadan, then the month of Muharram, then the Ayyamul Hajj. There's so many different points in the annual calendar of a mu'min and a Muslim wherein we can introspect, reflect, ponder and turn our lives around. But the epic moment in this entire calendar for me and for you is none other than Shahrul Quran, Shahr Ramadan. This is the month for me and for you. And in fact, the preparation for Ramadan starts well back in Rajab. That's one of the reasons why we recited the dua. Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. So yes, we are asking Allah Azza wa Jal to give us barakah in the months of Rajab and Sha'ban, but it also should serve as a reminder that we need to prepare ourselves for the blessed month of Ramadan. Why? So that we can take maximum benefit from the month of Ramadan. Beloved brothers, alhamdulillah, I'm a person that comes from the Quranic fraternity, and I find it's imperative for me to speak about the Quran and to remind myself and yourselves and all of us with regards to our relationship and our connection with the Quran in the month of Ramadan. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس. It is in the month of Ramadan that the Quran was revealed as a guidance to mankind. Beloved brothers, I say to you, if we don't seize this opportunity, the month of Ramadan, to connect to the Quran, then when will we ever connect to the Quran? And remember, life has become short. Time is precious. Incidents are lapsing and at a rapid state. So many things are happening around us. It's sometimes impossible to keep up with what is happening around us. Hence, we need to have a solid plan of action. We must have a plan of action. That this Ramadan, what do I want to achieve? What am I going to achieve in this Ramadan? And at times, it's good to sit down and jot down your thoughts, your goals, and your achievements. What do you want to get to? What do I want to achieve? Time is limited. Hence, we need to use our time effectively, efficiently, and constructively, so that we can reap the best for this month of Ramadan. So every one of us, let's make an intention that this Ramadan of 1443 will be an amazing Ramadan for me, because I'm going to connect to the Quran this Ramadan like I've never connected before, in every way possible. So that will mean the tilawah of the Quran. Even to recite the Quran, wallahi, beloved brothers, there's barakah and blessings in that, and there's reward in that, great reward, just to recite the Quran. In fact, some people say, well, I don't understand the Quran, why should I read it? We say to you, whether you understand it or not, still build a connection and a relationship with the Quran. Recite it and read it. Even if it means you need to open the English translation, in whichever way possible, read the Quran. Secondly, let's make an earnest effort to at least listen to the Quran in the month of Ramadan, and especially in the Salat al-Tarawih. The Quran is such an amazing kitab, it's such an amazing book. It's one of the greatest gifts and ni'mats and blessings that we have. Perhaps let me just quickly relate the story to you. Sheikh Abdul Basit Abdul Samad, he was invited to join a governmental delegation to Russia with President Anwar Sadat. And when they came to the opening of parliament, it was told to the Egyptian delegation, today you will open the parliament like how you do in Egypt. And who best to have to recite the Quran than Sheikh Abdul Basit? So alhamdulillah, Sheikh Abdul Basit Abdul Samad, he recites the Quran in a very, very melodious way. And Sheikh states in one of these narrations, he states that it was the very first time in his life that he was touched by his own recitation. The reason being, when he looked up, he saw people tearing. So after the recital was over, through an interpreter, he decided to ask his people, what made you tear, what moved you? And they said, we assure you, we haven't understood a word of what you recited. But whatever you recited, it touched our hearts and it caused us to tear. Beloved brothers, another incident which comes to my mind, a few years ago, it was also the month of Ramadan, I was invited to Australia, and I went out to meet a person who was very, very ill. And there was two people in the room. One was this Muslim brother who had made an immense effort for the community in Brisbane. So I decided to recite Surah Yasin for this brother. Forget about this brother who got up. The brother next to him who was not a Muslim, he woke up. And he said to me, what are these words that you're reciting? I asked him why. He said, they're causing something to happen within me. So I said to him, beloved brother, for far too long your soul has been starved. For far too long your soul has been starved. If you're looking for nourishment and food for the soul, it is undoubtedly the Quran. And then he said to me, why have you Muslims kept this beautiful book away from us for such a long time? So my beloved brothers, every one of us, we are all looking for food for the soul. We all need that spiritual rejuvenation. We need that spiritual nourishment. This is the month of the Quran. And this is where we will get our nourishment from the Quran itself. So yes, so alhamdulillah, make an earnest intention that this month of Ramadan, I will recite the Quran. I will make tilawah of the Quran. I will perhaps even pick up a book or the translation or tafsir of the Quran, and I will try to understand the Quran. Or I will listen to the salat of the Quran in Salat al-Tarawih. Or I will attend some lectures where tafsir has been taught. In every way possible, however I can build a relationship with the Quran, I'm going to do that. So beloved brothers, it all starts with us, especially in our homes. Let's bring about an ambience and an atmosphere and a culture of the Quran in our homes. Go back, you can check yourself. Study those homes where the deen was alive and was kept alive. In those homes, Quran was being recited. And the formula is very simple. If you preserve the Quran, you will preserve deen. This brings me to an incident. Many times people, and I'll end off on this, people ask us, how did Islam come to South Africa? And we have a very beautiful story to tell. In the 1600s, when the East Indies, the countries of Malaysia and Indonesia and so forth, were under the Dutch occupation, we found that the ulama of the time, the scholars of the time, they began to revolt. Because wherever there's injustice, people will always stand up to injustice. And it's just a natural human phenomenon. And that's exactly what happened. Eventually, these lot of ulama were imprisoned, but they still had an effect on the masses. So the maps were opened and decided we need to banish these lot. We need to send them away from here. They are troublemakers. Maps were open, and guess what happened? They identified a place in the world. And that was the Cape Peninsula. Why? They said there's a small little island off the Cape, of the south of Africa, known as Robben Island. When we speak of Robben Island, people think of Nelson Mandela. But do you know our shuyukh were imprisoned on that same very island well before Nelson Mandela? We got a strong legacy. We got a strong history to tell. Anyway, one of the first shuyukh, Sheikh Abdullah Qadi ibn Salam, he was one of the first shuyukh which was banished from the East Indies, and he was put onto a ship. It's a long story. I'm just going to quickly summarize. He graces the shores of the Cape, and he's put into a prison. This sheikh, what did he do whilst he was in a prison? He did not fall into any depression. He did not fall into any low. Whilst in a prison cell, he began to write the Quran from memory. Why? Because he knew, in order to preserve deen, the first step, we must preserve the Quran. Why? Everything of our deen and Islam starts from the Quran. Everything emerges from the Quran. Hence, we must preserve the Quran first. And that was the start of how Islam began to spread in that part of the world, the southern part of Africa. Allahu Akbar. Thereafter, there were many other shuyukh that were banished from the East Indies, and they graced the shores of the Cape Peninsula, the southern part of Africa, and they too would do the exact same thing. that they would write the Quran from memory, and those mushafs would be then smuggled out to the slave population that was there at the time. And that was the very first time that people could actually reference or refer to a Quran, and that is how Islam got a grounding in that part of the world. So the point that I'm trying to make, in order for us to preserve the deen of Islam, we need to first start by preserving the Quran. And alhamdulillah, the month of the Quran is here for me and for you. It is the best opportunity for me and for you in the annual calendar of a mu'min and a Muslim to introspect, reflect, ponder, and change our lives around. So this month of Ramadan, have a concrete plan of an action of how we're going to connect to the Quran, or how much of the Quran am I going to recite, how much of the Quran am I going to understand. And again, coming back to our homes, it's important for us to have a culture of the Quran in our homes. It starts from us individually. Don't expect your child or your children to recite the Quran and read the Quran if you are not doing it. So perhaps you as an individual, start off yourself, then perhaps as a family, try and open the Quran together and recite a bit of the Quran. And of course, yes, at the community level, and alhamdulillah, we are very, very fortunate. We find there are many opportunities and many madaris, etc., wherein we can attend to learn the Quran, to recite the Quran, to understand the Quran. All of these opportunities are available. All we just need to do is grab these opportunities, make the most of them, and who will benefit? We will benefit. Remember, my opening statement, life has become very, very short. وَالْعَصْرِ, by the token of time, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ, indeed, man is at a loss. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except for those who believe, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, who do good deeds, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, was steadfast upon the righteous path and was steadfast upon patience. There's it. The entire formula is there for me and for you. The entire recipe is there for me and for you. Let's follow the Quran. Let's not waste our time. Let's spend our time in the most constructive manner possible. Why? Wallahi, we don't know when death is going to meet us. We don't know when death will encompass us. May Allah Ta'ala Azza wa Jal allow every one of us to understand the reality of death and to prepare adequately for that. Remember, we have the gift of Iman. And it's so important for us to nurture that Iman, to protect that Iman, preserve that Iman. And that comes with effort. And the moment is now. The moment is here and for me and for you. It's the beautiful month of Ramadan. It's a month of barakah, the month of blessings. In the month of Ramadan, it becomes so easy for us to make ibadah. It becomes so easy for us to discipline ourselves. As a mu'min and a Muslim, we should never ever waste our time. We need to spend our time in the best way possible. Why? Time is ticking. Time is running. And who knows? Very soon it will be my time and your time to leave this dunya. May Allah Azza wa Jal make that moment for me and for you a beautiful moment wherein we leave this world with the kalimah La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, with a strong bond and connection with the Quran. I leave you at this point. One of the greatest tools of da'wah is tell them about the Quran. Tell them that we have people in our community, the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, that have memorized the entire Quran, that will jolt them to become inquisitive and to empower themselves with information of what Islam is. That how is it such that this book can be memorized? Forget about by elders and by adults, but even by children. That is a sign for me and for you that we are so fortunate that we have the book, the only divine book that is memorized by thousands across the globe. Thousands across the globe will stand in Salat al-Taraweeh and recite the Quran and Kareem from memory. Isn't this a sign for me and for you? Share this with people that are not from our faith. And inshallah, this will propel them to go out there and learn a bit about our deen. Barakallahu feek. It's always an amazing moment, amazing time to be with all of you. Wallahi, we love you all from the depths of our heart. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us a blissful Ramadan ahead. And a Ramadan which will allow us to make sincere resolutions to turn our lives around for the better. So wherein we become obedient to Allah Azza wa Jal and a life in His pleasure. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.